Imelda Lambertini, the Blessed of the First Eucharist, was born in 1320 in the city of Bologna, Italy, to a noble family. Her deeply devout parents quickly noticed that their daughter, though so young, had a heart that burned with a special love for God. From an early age, Imelda stood out for her extraordinary devotion, uncommon among children her age. She preferred to spend time in prayer rather than playing with other children or being with her parents. At every mention of Jesus, her eyes would shine in a way that captivated everyone around her. Imelda longed with all her heart to make her first communion, but at the time, children were required to be at least 12 years old to receive Jesus in the Eucharist. However, the young girl could not contain her deep desire. Her faith was unshakable, and she believed that receiving Jesus would bring her an indescribable joy so immense that it could hardly be contained. How can someone receive Jesus in communion and not die of happiness? She would ask the nuns, her heart overflowing with a desire for this encounter. At just 8 years old, Imelda entered the Dominican convent of Santa Maria Maddalena, where, at the age of 10, she received the habit of a nun. Religious life was her true home, and she devoted herself wholeheartedly to prayer and hymns. Even at her young age, she was an example of piety to the other sisters. In the convent, her love for the Eucharist grew even more profound. She spent long hours in prayer before the tabernacle, the place where Jesus was present. Despite being a devoted nun, one thing still pained her: she could not receive communion. Watching others partake of the Eucharist brought sorrow to her heart, but she never lost hope that one day God would hear her plea. Her unshakable faith kept her persistent, and she prayed daily, asking to be worthy of receiving the body of Christ. On May 12, 1333, Imelda attended Mass with the other sisters and students at the convent. During the moment of communion, her soul was lifted in prayer, more fervent than ever before. When the last nun in line had received communion, the sister who passed by Imelda turned, astonished to see a consecrated host hovering above the young girl's head, glowing with a divine light. The community, awestruck, quickly knelt, recognizing this extraordinary sign as the Lord's desire for little Imelda to receive the Eucharist. The chaplain approached swiftly with the golden paten, and as he drew near, the host gently descended onto the paten. Imelda, her face radiant and her eyes closed, slowly raised her head, opened her lips, and received the body of Christ. She then bowed her head, but as time passed, her little soul overflowed with such immense joy that her heart could not bear it. She collapsed into the arms of the prioress, already in ecstasy. Imelda had died of love for Jesus in the Eucharist, just as she had always desired. Imelda was buried with great reverence, and her remains, miraculously preserved for over 600 years, became a testament to the sanctity she lived. She was beatified by Pope Leo XI in 1826 and is remembered as the patroness of children and First Communicants. Imelda's life teaches us a precious lesson. True happiness is found in uniting with God with a pure and fervent heart. Her story reminds us that even at a young age, sincere devotion can draw us closer to God in transformative ways. Imelda demonstrated that when we desire God with all our being, He responds in ways beyond our understanding, revealing that He is our greatest reward.